Hello Capricorn, welcome to your weekly reading for the week of October 27th through to the 3rd of November. Let's dive right in with a few sacred symbols oracles. So right now my husband and I, we are on our third honeymoon in Mount Shasta, and Mount Shasta is love. There is so much love that's coming through and protection. What better to start out Scorpio season with love and protection? And love is protection. It truly is. When we come from a place of sovereignty, ooh, you guys also got the rainbow. Sweet relief, new beginnings, and new way forward. So seeing that we also have Pluto in your sign, 29 degrees Capricorn, love is protection. When we love ourselves, we take extra measures to make sure that we are covered, that we ask all the questions, that we're not shy about making sure that we have our needs met. From a place of not loving ourselves, we might be a little bit too antsy to jump into something or to make a commitment to someone, or some sort of financial obligation that really doesn't belong. It may be something that you guys have done in the past, and now you're seeing how much you're growing. You guys got the Wheel of Fortune. I want to see what fell. Sometimes I don't mind, sometimes I do. Okay, we're not going to use these cards. You did get the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, fine. You got the Shaman of Dis. It came out earlier today for Pisces. So seeing that your ruling planet is in Pisces, you might be feeling that your luck is changing. As the Wheel of Fortune has, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 8. And then the Wheel of Fortune has... I count in funny ways. 1, 2, 3, 12 and 8. Okay, interesting. That could be something to look at for this week. Playing with numbers here. 12 and 8. Oh, I see what's at 12. So the moon going to cross over Black Moon Libra, and that represents your 10th house of career and legacy. It just feels like you guys are in a place with yourself to where you're able to address any sort of resentment, shame, setbacks, maybe even anger that has happened or existed for you in relationships and partnerships, without getting carried away and going overboard, but also to ensure that you're protected from doing that. It's really going to be an easy success for you guys to sit with yourself, to journal, to call in sweet relief, to call in new beginnings, to call in a new way forward. This is the day, 2 days before the new moon, happening on the 1st of November. For Halloween, it's, Dia de los Muertos. We want to honor our ancestors who passed away. And maybe, just honoring your energy in a way that is new for you, that allows for you to go out into the world and feel like your luck is changing, because it is truly changing. Pluto is going to move back into Aquarius to stay for the next 290 years or close to something like that. And with the sun in your 11th house of social networks and groups and collective consciousness, we have the 10 of Cups. So, the election's coming up and a lot of people are frantic over it. Personally, I don't vote. And, I know, hot take, whoa, but it's just a very thick, energetic core to detach from. And I have always known that. I've always been sensitive to that energy. And I noticed it was impacting me really negatively. So for anyone out there who is really struggling and constantly in quarrels with family or peers or, friends, if someone writes in the comments something to me about voting, I'm going to look at you like you didn't listen to the rest of what I had to say. Monitor how protected you feel when you go into those settings, when you start to, look, we got the 4 of Swords. When you go to start expressing beliefs that really do not take into account your emotional well-being. Because you guys did get the rainbow, which is giving me this energy balance. You guys have balanced energy when you consider yourself, when you're protecting yourself. And then look, a double rainbow when you go for emotional fulfillment rather than who's right and who's wrong and how your choices will victimize me kind of thinking, because that's very backwards. That's not what Pluto went into your sign for. That's not what we're here for. We're here to be sovereign. And you guys might be playing catch up in a lot of ways, because it might be hard for you to acknowledge that a lot of the choices that make the most impact are the most subtle, smallest ones, like, you know, looking someone in the eyes and thanking them when they hold the door open for you. Really considering those places that make you feel cherished and welcome and warm and loved, and not just people, places, and things that you constantly have to spend money on, which is a very low form of energy exchange. The Priestess of Swords is here, and it feels like you guys have a clear view, you have a clear connection with your spirit team, and you're sending out a message, but it looks like you're also delivering a message. Shaman of Discs and Priestess of Swords with that Four of Swords is just, it's really letting me in on you guys balancing out your energy and understanding what's worthy of your time and what is draining your energy, because we will have an opposition between Mars and Pluto in your 7th house and in your 1st house, your house of yourself. This is where Pluto is, killing off parts of you that really do not have the right boundary structure, the parts of you that give away your energy or get entangled in, you know, some sort of pointless stalemate energy. That came through for another earth sign, and I'm pretty sure it was Virgo. But Virgo does rule your 9th house of beliefs, and Virgo got the call to co-create with their divine feminine. And I would just like to see in the comments, let me know who's coming through, maybe some teachings that were from your mother's side, your mother's lineage, because that feels like something for me. We have Parvati, devotion. Capricorn, if anything, devote to yourself this week. Devote to feeling that energy body scan. So this is something that came up when I spoke to a friend about a Vipassana journey. Is he shared with me on the 5th day of a 10-day Vipassana is when you start to detach a lot from what you previously have known as far as expressing yourself and in communication, because you start doing a body scan. So throughout the day, Capricorn, I advise this week, body scan, align your energies. When you go to have that like neck to neck conversation, very combative energy, do a body scan. See if you're, you know, arching your back, and tighten your knees, because Capricorn does rule the knees. We want to get one more card, and I'm going to read the rainbow. We've got Pahu, which is about the rhythm and sustaining the rhythm, and I would say the rhythm of your energetic flow. So, you know, you don't want to drain yourself. You want to be emotionally fulfilled. You want to be very deliberate about your energy this week. Oh, I opened right to the rainbow. When does that happen? Okay, Healing Waters affirmation. I'm ready to welcome the new beginnings that are waiting for me. There are countless myths from all corners of the world that feature rainbows. In most cases, the rainbow symbolizes a bridge between heaven and earth and is a sign of good fortune. Perhaps the most widely known story comes from Irish folklore. It says that there's a pot of gold waiting at the end of the rainbow, guarded by a leprechaun. In Norse mythology, Bifrost, the rainbow bridge, connects Earth with Asgard, home of the gods. Ancient Japanese folklore says that rainbows are bridges that the ancestors of human took to descend to Earth. The Old Testament book of Genesis, God sets a rainbow in the sky as a comforting symbol to humanity that he will never again destroy the earth with floods. In this oracle, the rainbow is here to comfort and reassure you that the future is full of hope, and I would replace the word hope with trust. So when we trust that we're protected, when we trust that we can have emotional fulfillment, when we trust that we can balance and measure our energy adequately and not overdo it or underdo it, we are in alignment to receive that. But if we are constantly hoping, it means that maybe we haven't done our homework. Okay, so rest deeply in the knowledge that the rainbow brings with it a feeling of sweet relief and a simpler future. There are new beginnings beckoning you forth. There's a clear and vibrant way forward, and the path is steady with opportunities. And the path being steady feels like Pahu, which I'll read next. The path is steady with opportunities for deep joy, safety, comfort, and peace. Okay, I'll be quick with Pahu. These are pretty lengthy. Excuse me. Oh, the images. That's what I'll do. New coconut tree and fruit for drum bodies. Hala for cordage or husk fibers. Ipu, a squash for Ipu heke ole, the drum. Pailauna fern, sacred to Laka, patron deity of hula, and mano, shark skin for drum heads. Wow. So you see how multi-purposed the hula is. It takes from a lot of different resources and makes it into something that also generates a lot of energy. And maybe you guys are learning how to do that with your optimistic outlook, because it really will, the future changes just as we appoint it to change. We have to create our luck. We have to create our protection. Sometimes if I'm out in nature, I'll just say, I do my protection work. And I often will visualize, as I've shared with you guys before, a pyramid of mirrors or a Merkaba encompassing my whole field. I will call in the electric barrier around myself, my husband, my children. Even if we're not in the same place, I do it all the time. And it's something that just makes me feel like I did my protection work. I trust that I'm safe and protected. And then when I know I'm not safe and protected, then I start to say stuff, because it's like, hey, this is not something that I can account for. And maybe you guys have to start accounting for that, even if it's not just in like your feelings or like getting into those quarrels with people. It's just making sure that you feel grounded and safe in your body because of all this heightened energy around the election and the opposition of Mars and Pluto in your 1st and 7th house. So Pahu, sacred drum, timing and ritual, a sacred sign, the drum. Okay, La'amai Kahiki from Tahiti is said to have brought the kaike bamboo drum and the hula dance to Hawaii. Amazing. This is funny. A man named Haika Malama heard the sound of the drum and began following the canoe along the shore, repeating the drummer's chant and beating his breast to get the rhythm. When the canoe landed, Haika Malamala pretended that the drum was well known on Oahu. This allowed him to get close enough to get a good look at the drum so that he could make one for himself. And I feel like, stealing like an artist is timeless quality, as we know from Haika Malamala. We want to be able to honor maybe even this, like, maybe you've encountered a shaman of discs, and then you need to do the same thing with a message or just your energetic vibration. You see that this person looks like there's snow, but it's not anywhere else around but on their cloak and on their bird that's sending out this message. And I think that maybe it could be something that you do in your energetic work, is like in bed, maybe you could start to visualize your day ahead before you get started with the day and just affirm, I'm going to have an amazing day. It's something that I do when I'm actually having a lot of emotional turmoil within, is I just affirm that to anchor me into the start of the day. And then at the end of the day, I will often look back and be like, wow, all these really great things happened, whereas I set myself up for it rather than defaulting to see what happens, which that was in the past. Okay, so Pahu appears. We're back to Pahu. When it's time to celebrate the sacred, sometimes when our lives become busy and hectic, we forget to take time to reflect upon or celebrate that which is most precious. There is a Hawaiian proverb that can be translated, too often we only smell the ripe fruit after it has after it's reached the ground. So I want to say something. I want to say that you guys might actually be in such an exalted state because of the work that you're doing or the motivation that you have in your life, but you can get caught in needless stalemate energy or interactions that don't serve your highest good, when you can just look around and be like, whoa, I'm living at the best time of my life. This is like the height of my existence. I'm completely content with myself, and seeding that for this new cycle starting on the new moon on November 1st. And then also with Scorpio representing your 11th house, it's just important to understand where you end and where other people begin. So, yes, you might be passionate about, for me, being a plant-based person, but you have to understand that other people may not have a reason to be plant-based. They may not need that experience. They may still be content with exactly how they were raised, their diet of maybe all sorts of dairy and maybe that's what they love. But what works for you, Capricorn, will be unique to you. And as long as you cultivate a shield of protection energetically, you can even visualize this, which is that snowflake. It's actually, that's so interesting. It looks just like the snowflake zoomed all the way in. You know, maybe you need a nice little cloak with a hood for winter when you send out energetic messages. And like, you could want the best things in the world for the collective energy, but you have to disconnect from it. You have to know how to cut those cords, which is back to my voting thing. It's like a heavy cord to be connected to the outcome of an election, which is like, you know, just take any country's elections in the past that devolve into all sorts of, you know, fighting and violence. We don't need to be connected to those outcomes, but we do need to understand what is most valuable for us and this energy of devotion. So Pahu reminds you to pay attention to the details. Pahu may also appear when it's time to switch from the mundane to the sacred, from doing that which is tedious to doing that which brings you joy. Pahu indicates that it's time to participate in a ritual of some kind. Rituals include ceremonies which change in energy, celebrations, or any special activity such as making love or meditation. And you got both. You got meditation and you got, well, this is just being in love with life. So there you go. Pahu reminds you that it's important to connect with your higher purpose and what is truly important. And now, Parvati, devotion. True commitment comes from a wholehearted living in body, mind, and spirit. And I would say emotional as well. When the Hindu goddess Parvati rises up to greet you, she is acknowledging you for your sincere devotion to personal growth. With the world in so much turmoil, it's not easy to devote yourself to higher knowledge and a strong faith. But if you are to serve others by being a bearer of love, compassion, and light, you must recommit yourself every day as unwavering in your devotion as Parvati was to Shiva and her goal of bringing peace into the world. Parvati asks that you find silence in daily meditation to contemplate your devotion, as well as your commitment to all of life and to making this world a better place. The great goddess is present when you renew your devotion and make that relationship primary above all else. Then in all areas of your life, your every choice will be in alignment and in service to this truth. When the goddess Parvati comes to visit, it's a beautiful sign that you are on the right track. And now the alignment message, just in case. The goddess Parvati comes down to offer her help because blind faith in others is not serving you, and devotion to something undeserving may be showing up in your life. Ask yourself, why are you so committed to someone or something you know deep down will fail you? Are you afraid of seeing things as they are? What if you let go and allow for a higher force to guide you to the right people, places, and things that are in your highest good? Can you remember when the devotion to this ultimate spiritual partnership was reciprocated? Consider what happens when you place your attention only on money, status, ambition, and power. The world becomes narrow, and you lose connection to a higher existence and your greater good. The goddess Parvati offers this alignment task. Get your spiritual life in order. Make prayer and meditation part of your daily routine. Act as if you believe that what is for you won't go past you, and that what must proceed will do so without your interference. You will be amazed at how everything falls into place. The goddess Parvati reminds you that you are so loved and cherished. So something interesting that happened is, if you guys couldn't tell, I'm just, this is just by my cards. I read that last. And I tried to do all of the explaining that I could about your reading, but it's like, just remember that you are so loved and your devotion matters, but what you're devoting to has got to be about you. It can't be about outcomes to things that are beyond your control. And making this world a better place starts with us having our meditation down, having a centered ambition, target, intention for the single day as the day passes. So do something special for this new moon in Scorpio. Maybe you can just set intentions like candles and pray. Maybe you want to get together and do a ceremony with some sacred sounds, some drumming, some singing bowls. I'm sure that it will be wonderful, Capricorn. So if you guys want to go deeper into this reading, I would advise you watch your 8th house and your 7th house. That will definitely set you up to see your relationships and then what you devote to with that 8th house energy. And then it'll help with Pluto and working through that. And then I would also suggest the 4th house, the 4th, 8th, and potentially 7th house for you guys. Look at your chart on astro.com, pull it up under KOCH, Coke, and equal. Equal acknowledges the symmetry of the soul, like this snowflake here, and it also will allow for you guys to see with Coke where your houses have gotten too narrow over lifetimes. I'm sure you've seen your chart under Placidus, so that means some houses look like this and some houses look like this. Coke just shows you like 2 houses that you need to make bigger, you need to focus on, and that will set everything back into that equal housing system. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, all of my aloha.